Okay. So, welcome to our holiday special.
For those people with children.
Oh, yeah.
We may be talking about adult Christmas things. So you may want to listen to it before you share with your kids,
Amarilis,
or just have your headphones if you're with them.
you're making it
It's
sound like
adult Christmas.
you're making it sound so like it's about sexy Christmas.
Maybe it's about sexy Christmas.
Oh, that's a whole new questionnaire. I just wrote all these questions.
Just kidding.
Ho, ho, ho.
I am wise, I am strong. I am loved, I am here.
Welcome to I Am Here, a podcast where two lovely ladies, that's right, we're lovely, we share the healing, share the stories, share the love, and we share the fact that Amarilis just made a book.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, I thought you were going to say it's Christmas.
It is Christmas. Merry Christmas by Amarilis' book. Tell us about it.
The fact that you could fill it out. Listen, I don't like this right now, but I'm gonna do it because I got yelled at earlier by my lovely cousin Gabriela. What were we talking
about? Your book. It's lovely and it's a great present for people.
Or for yourself. The fact that, look, okay, I worked on the ebook for several months and it kicked my butt. But the fact that it's fillable, I'm excited about, because I was trying to figure that out and I was like, yeah, I did it. And then I downloaded it on my computer and it wasn't fillable on my computer. But I have evidence other people downloaded it on their phone and they can fill it out.
Yep.
That was really dope. So that's what I'm excited about. Cool. So yeah, no, I share some of my stories with self-care, imperfect self-love and care, and then there's some worksheets and ideas and tips and things like that that you can practice yourself if you so choose to. Yeah. If you don't want to, don't do it either. You do what you want.
Let 2023 be your year with Amarilis' book. And what is it called?
It is called From Stuck to Empowered. Nope, that's not what it's called. It's called From Stuck to Empowered, Mental Health Counselors, Confessions, and Self-Love Strategies.
That's so good. I'm so excited. You can use this as a template for your next year.
Yes. Or, day.
Or life.
Week or month. Whatever you choose. It's supplement. Like your vitamins.
Come get your vitamins with Amarilis.
Wow. Interesting.
We will provide a link to where you can purchase it down in the descriptions.
The show notes. Yeah, you can go to Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, it is on my link in bio. It's also, what is it? My shopify.com/Amarilis Garcia. So there you go.
Yay! Okay, you did it. You did the thing. I'm proud of you.
Now I feel yucky.
Why? Well, you should. I think it's exciting.
I feel like ick. But
it's okay because we're going to talk about Christmas and it's going to make you feel better.
Christmas, this Christmas. Bum, 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 bum. It's less than, it's just a few days away. So if you're like me, may the odds be ever in your favor in Christmas shopping.
Oh, no. I know we're going to get to this later, but I can't stand how packed everything is right now because of Christmas. I went to Target the other day and I wanted to throw up.
Well, you always want to throw up when you're in stores.
Not anymore. I mean, kind of. It depends on the day. But I was there and then there were so many people. I was like,
people.
More than usual. And then their driving is really crazy. But anyway, we'll get to that. So
listen, I experienced that for sure. But no, I'm excited. I enjoy Christmas time. I'm ready to just be, so Christmas is fun. I'm excited about our talk today for those people with children.
Oh yeah.
You might want to share this you want to hang out with us and talk, that's great. But we may be talking about adult Christmas things. So you may want to you may want to listen to it before you share with your kids,
Amarilis,
or
you
just
made
have your
it
headphones if
sound.
you're with them.
You're making it
It's
sound like
adult Christmas.
you're making it sound so like it's about sexy Christmas.
Maybe it's about sexy Christmas.
Oh, that's a whole new questionnaire. I just wrote all these questions.
Just kidding. But no, just be mindful. Just be mindful if you want to listen to this, and then if you want to share it with the kids, great. If you don't want to share with the kids, that's your business. We're not gonna judge you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's up to you.
You want to do the little things. We got some questions. We're going to talk about our stories with Christmas, share with each other, kind of just share our memories and our highlights and what we enjoy about Christmas, just because it's the holiday time. So we do what we want. Okay, have you seen where they were saying that Santa's reindeers are all female?
No. Are they?
Male reindeer, they shed their antlers in the winter.
Wait.
And reindeer are the only deer that both male and female grow antlers. The male reindeer shed their antlers in the winter. So if who's pulling Santa's sleigh? It's the women's.
Oh my gosh. Wait, when you say shed their antlers, they just come out? That's gross.
Yeah. Well, from what I saw.
You watched a video on this?
Yeah. Don't judge me in my geeky nerdy
Oh
self.
my god.
And like they were to attract the women, so like they shed their antlers. Women, the females keep their antlers until after they give birth. So like they shed them in the spring.
Wow. That's cool. Shed them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to.
But there's this other theory that Santa is not so mean that he would have pregnant females pulling his sleigh. That seems not okay.
Hello, bendición.
Bendición.
Amarilis says bendición.
Is this gonna be like? What'd he bring you?
He brought me Claritin. Thank you so much. Because I've been sneezing a lot. But also there is a package.
Oh my gosh, this feels like Blue's Clues.
Guys, this is amazing. This is a perfect unpacking and perfect episode for promotion for everyone. Because I purchased this lovely shirt from Alecha Drouet's shop. Look at how beautiful this is. Look at how, give me a second.
Color, I love it. Okay, what's the other stuff? Okay, put it on. I love that shirt. It's so good. Oh.
This is so soft. Oh my god.
She was not trying to get no janky clothes. She's like, I want it to be good quality. Oh, it looks so comfortable.
Isn't it cute?
I love it.
Oh, it reminds me of my grandpa.
It definitely looks like your grandpa.
It's his papa.
Oh, his gallos. Is this a new segment to the podcast where Leo Gilberto just comes in and just drops something off in your room and just gives you, like, last time it was pancakes, now you got Claritin.
And then we just like show it off and we talk about it for like a side tangent for a while.
Oh, visit from Theo Gilberto. All you see is his hands. He has a lot of really dope outfits and gear and apparel and like the aprons and just stickers. I love it.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog is going crazy.
Oh, it's okay. For all the people who can't see, I just received a package with this adorable shirt. It says Puerto Rico on the side, and then it has this like older man, and he's just smoking his cigar like in the corner with his little hat, and he has chickens, and he has a chicken on his head. And if you want to see it, you should definitely check.
It's at Alecha Drouet.
Yes, at Alecha Drouet.
Or you could visit her. She has her website too. It's www.aleshadruet.com.
Yeah.
We'll put it in the show notes too. But my ebook, she helped me design the cover of it.
Wow. She's so talented.
if you're like us, this is another thing. If you're like us and you celebrate Three Kings Day,
Oh yeah,
okay,
we
if
gotta talk
you
about that.
celebrate Los Reyes Magos that come January 6th, you can order the apparel and then get it by the time the Three Kings come. Okay, because we have Christmas and we have Three Kings Day, because our Christmas is the longest lasting Christmas in all the world. If you didn't know, Puerto Ricans Christmas lasts longer than anybody. All right, so if you
Yes.
love Christmas, go visit PR and you'll have Christmas from November until almost March. Okay, so
Yeah.
enjoy your Christmas.
Almost March. ¿Qué es exagera?
I'm a little bit exaggerated, but
Bro, I'm
it really
dead.
does really go into like
We don't put
February
down the
almost.
tree until later. We put it up early and we don't put it down.
But if you don't celebrate Three Kings Day, you might as well celebrate Three Kings Day.
Yeah.
January 6th. It's biblical. Okay. The Three Kings came and offered gifts to baby Jesus. It just makes sense that we would celebrate that.
Exactly.
And why wouldn't you want to take advantage of the after Christmas holiday sales? Okay. After Christmas, all the gifts are marked down. Just buy the gifts, help the Three Kings out.
Yep.
They get the discount, and then you get your gifts. You put them under the bed, because the kings, they leave the presents under the bed.
Yep.
It's just, you leave, instead of milk and cookies, you just got to leave some grass and some water for their camels.
Yeah.
Because
But you know
they've traveled
what?
so far. What? It's just beautiful.
Okay, this is so funny because I know the Three Kings usually come under the bed, but there have been times that the Three Kings.
Wait, can you rephrase that? Can you please?
I know that the Three Kings usually leave presents underneath your bed. But I have had many times where I go into the under the tree or like by the fireplace or something like that, and there's, for some reason, for me it was always different because the Three Kings would leave it in garbage bags. All of the gifts in garbage bags.
They said, look, we're efficient.
I used to leave out water and a little bit of grass for the baby Jesus because I didn't, at first, like for the first few years of my life, I didn't know Santa was real. I mean, what I mean by that is like, I didn't.
Yeah. That wasn't who brought you gifts.
Yeah, I was always told that. I just realized I said Santa's real.
Well, Santa is real. Like, he really is, though.
Yeah.
He is.
I know
the idea of how of what Santa is may have changed for you, but Santa is real.
That's why I phrased it the way I did in the document, where it says, not the way you thought.
But he's real.
I didn't know about Santa for the first few years of my life.
He wasn't the one that brought you the presents.
No, he wasn't, because whenever I would go to open a present on Christmas, it would say, from El Niñito Jesus. So my like little brain was like, oh yeah, the baby Jesus is strong because he's God. So a little baby came and brought me all the gifts. So I would leave out like water sometimes, and I would leave out like some dry grass for his donkey because he didn't.
Tell me more. I didn't know about this part. I know like in mama's, like in our, like my paternal grandma, but your maternal grandma, like in our grandma's side, the presents came from a Niñito Jesus. Yeah. But in my home and my maternal grandmother's side, it came from Santa. So I never experienced what you're talking about with a Niñito.
Really? Oh, that's cool. I don't know.
So I don't know how you prepared, and I don't know how you prepared for a Niñito Jesus coming to leave you presents.
Did you have to do this horrible tradition? For Advent, we had like a baby Jesus. And then he was just Advent? Advent is when the time before Christmas, like the 4 weeks before Christmas, when you're preparing for Jesus to be born in your heart.
But
So,
there's like the preparation of we
right.
celebrate Christmas, and it's a reminder religiously for us
Yeah.
of Jesus's second coming, you know, of preparing for God arrival, and preparing more of our spirit and our soul. And Advent is that kind of time, the 4 weeks before we celebrate Christmas, to meditate, to reflect, to pray, to prepare our hearts, our souls, and our lives for just Jesus. It's
You
just a
are
reminder
so good at
and a
descriptions right
practice.
away. Like you can just describe something like así bien rapidito. I'm like, that's great. I'm like, Advent is time before baby Jesus.
I love the arms. That is like
I mean, I'll just say
the SpongeBob arms.
The people listening on any other platform, thank you for your support, but you're missing out if you're not seeing us on YouTube, because I be doing some crazy stuff.
It's a different experience. That's all.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, so this thing for Advent. I think I'm remembering it wrong. I feel like I gotta ask. You have baby Jesus, like a statue of baby Jesus, and then he is in like a wooden manger. Not manger. ¿Qué es eso?
I was just gonna say cradle.
Cradle.
Like, is it
yeah.
a cradle? It's a crib. Does it have a cradle? Is cradle a noun or a verb?
I think it's both. Okay, so anyway, baby Jesus is in a wooden bed. Baby. He has little pajitas, so he has like hay in it. And then every time I was bad or we did, this is horrible. I don't recommend doing this with any child. Every time the child does something wrong, like we did something wrong, and it was like really hurtful, we had to take a piece of hay out of Jesus's crib because it hurt him. Religious trauma.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's like something we had to do. And I don't recommend doing that, because then you start associating like
child behavior, just misbehaving.
Yeah.
With punishing God and making him uncomfortable in his little hay bed. Oh wow.
So I definitely will not pass that down to my children.
Our parents really did the best they could. They were just making it up as they were going.
I know. I'm proud. You know, I'm very thankful for my parents. I love them so much, and I am thankful for all they've given me, and I think that they really helped me grow in my faith. But mira, don't do
don't do that.
I give that experience a 0 out of 10.
So you had to, on Christmas, give back the hay? Is that why you were giving baby Jesus grass? No? Oh.
Every time we did something that was really outstandingly good, then we would put a hay back.
Oh Lord. Thinking about how I remember hearing somewhere, and I don't think it was my parents, I think it was probably Catholic school, that getting to heaven or like doing things like misbehaving or sinning or not sinning was like you're living a good life and you're going up the stairs to heaven, and then anytime you sin you take a step back, so like you're going up and down these stairs. And I was thinking about that metaphor recently, and I'm like, that's a terrible metaphor, because we don't earn that. There are things that we can do, like act in love and be in love, but it's not an earning of heaven. We're given that by grace, you know. And when we do things, it's because it's an overflow of love, not because I'm trying to earn my way to heaven or I'm earning God's love. It's an overflow of God's love that's coming through. So that's what my was coming from. I'm like, it's the whole teaching of I earn God's love, and it's not how it works. Well, it's not teaching that. Maybe that's just how I learned. That's what I
I think, okay, so I think the purpose of it obviously is not to teach it that, but the thing is, that's how everybody's going to interpret it, especially if you're a child.
Well, maybe
That's,
not. That's just how I interpret it. Maybe
I
other people
mean,
interpret it as
I know a lot of
nothing else.
people that interpreted it like that. And also, like, it's actually feeding into the misconception that Catholics are only earn heaven, like just by their actions,
Just by acts.
which is not true. It's not actually what we believe, so it's like
That's
kind of
not,
crazy.
yeah, that's not the church.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
but I remember talking to mommy and to Theo, like when I was there visiting you guys, and I was talking about that with them too, of like um going to church and some of the teachings, like sitting there and listening to God's word and receiving the Eucharist and communion, like that to me is like the core, right, of
Right, yeah.
receiving the word and receiving uh like that communion, the Eucharist, and being in that, right, and receiving the Spirit and God, and connecting with community in that.
Right.
But this is my personal challenge. Like I see some of the opinions of others, like sometimes people who have really goodwill. Your heart is good and we're a community. And what you're adding, it's commentary.
Yeah, I appreciate the thought behind it, but also I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt and be like, okay, I know, let's not do that. Yeah, so I didn't like that part of Advent/Christmas. I was like feeling so bad for baby Jesus all the time.
So much guilt. Good old, this is what they talk about with the good old Catholic guilt.
This is Catholic guilt.
I don't like that that's actually even a term. I'm like, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, it had to be a term because there was just so much of it. They had to give it a
Daddy
name.
didn't teach us that.
I hate Hallmark Christmas movies, but I also love them because
That's the thing. It's like we all know they're cheesy, but we keep coming back.
I know it's so bad, but also it's just so fun to make fun of, and it's so like it's like gives me a vibe that I need while I'm doing something.
I think it offers us some weird sense of comfort.
Yeah,
Because it's just it's like part of tradition. It's almost like the ugly sweater tradition has become like it's just
I love
just
ugly
part
sweater
of it.
tradition. What's your favorite Christmas memory?
What is my favorite Christmas memory?
Yeah,
I don't have one.
Yeah.
It's like a blur. But Christmas memories that are enjoyable and my tops. I love parrandas.
Yes. Oh, they're so good.
Parrandas like fill my heart and my soul. Like
Right.
I can't describe the feeling. Like I'm feeling it right now. It's just so much excitement and joy and like
Mm-hmm.
love and warmth and chaos.
Yeah.
I love the chaos of it. I love the chaos and the jumping around. I think this is what it is. Okay. Now that I'm describing it, I'm thinking it taps into like a part of me that is not really out a lot. Like it taps almost into like my core raw Amarilis self, that if there was no societal like rules, it almost taps into that part of me
but
that is just completely free.
I mean, it really does make sense because you just look like you're in your element at a parranda. For people who don't know what a parranda is, it is
Go ahead, describe it.
It's based. Okay, that's the thing. I tried to describe it to my American
It's always so
boyfriend.
fun.
It's kind of. I don't want to say it's caroling because it's literally not caroling. It's Puerto Rican tradition. Oh, where you get together with your friends, right? And then oh, like I'm gonna go to this person's house and we're gonna sing. I don't know how to describe this. And then like we're gonna go to this person's house.
You know, when the parranda start?
After Thanksgiving?
Yeah, girl, that same night.
It's like Thanksgiving the same day.
That's when it's like that's when our season starts.
My senior presentation was literally on parrandas in high school. Like my last like capstone like whole like 40-minute presentation was on parrandas.
I love it. Can I see it? Can you give me that presentation?
I think I still have it somewhere, but I want to find it because I had Mama Jamonita talking about it, and I like and I had Titi Carmin too, and then I had like little like the translation of what they were saying in English.
That's such a beautiful project.
It was so fun. And then I actually brought a bunch of like our cousins to my school. I don't know how they got past the main office. Like my teacher was like, just bring them in. And I'm like, they could be murderers. But they were like, okay, no, go ahead. And then
It's Christmas. Who cares?
yeah. And then I brought empanadillas. And I put them, sorry, pastelillos or whatever you call them for
Well,
depending on the
people
person.
know for the like people know empanadas, and like
Yeah.
everybody has some kind of meat pastry term.
Yeah. So we put
empanadilla,
them
pastelillo, empanadas, whatever you call it.
exactly. So I put them in the room. Everyone smelled it, so they were paying attention to me because they knew they were gonna get it if they paid attention because I told them that. And then
Yes.
I literally hid all of my cousins, not all of them, but like I put the musician cousins in another room. They had all their instruments, and I was like, just stay here. Somebody's gonna give you a cue. So then I told one of my friends in the class, like, go to this room, knock on the door when I say this. So I'm presenting, and then she gets up pretending she's going to the bathroom. She goes to get them, and I was talking about the element of surprise while I was explaining it, and then they came in and they screamed, aside.
And here's how it's not caroling, okay? So carolers come in and they respect boundaries. Carolers are outside.
They're not screaming
And they're
assault.
singing in their most angelic voices. And they're singing songs that are very godly and spiritual and just like, oh, nice. In Puerto Rico, parrandas may be similar in some aspects in that there's people outside singing. But asalto, what Gabriela just said, our cousin shared, literally translates to assault. We are musically assaulting you and your ears.
Yeah.
And we are coming, she didn't mention this, parrandas generally are a nighttime event. It's dark. You are sleeping. You're getting ready to go to bed. And then
or you are in bed usually.
You may be in bed already. You may be actually knocked the heck out. And then your neighbors or people around are outside and you wake up startled by the noise of people yelling, "Asalto!" And you have guitars and drums and sometimes trumpets if you have them. Yeah. Violins have been part of this.
Trombones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they are singing at the top of their lungs, knocking on your door,
and they're usually
ringing
not
your
in
doorbell.
key.
Not in key, you know?
Yeah.
And what happens is if you have a lapse of judgment and you open the door,
for real,
we all come in as a gang of people with our music to entertain you, and we are dancing and singing songs that are about eating all of your food and drinking all of your rum, because that is what we will be doing.
And then
you will be serving us and we will be eating and we will be drinking as we're singing and dancing for hours and hours and hours. And when we're tired of this place or we've eaten all that you have to offer, we will go to the next house. And you generally decide to come because you had so much fun already. You're joining the parranda and you
don't
are
want to be the
in,
host
even if
anymore.
you have no musical.
Yeah.
And you want to now extend this grace of assaulting people to other people. So generally, a parranda will start maybe with a small group, and then as you go house to house to house to house, by the end, it's a large, like, chaotic orchestra of very well-fed and drunken people who are just happy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes, that's a parranda. Because I have to clarify, because Latino-Americanos, like, parranda means something else. Parranda in a lot of other Spanish-speaking countries is a party.
Literally
but parranda in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. My Dominican friend, Kelvin, I told him, like, oh my gosh, I was talking to him about like Puerto Rican parrandas, and when I started it, I was like, oh, we do parrandas, and then like he like looked at me and he goes, oh yeah, parranda, and I was like, yeah, and then he was like, And then I was like explaining, I was like, no, pero es diferente. And then he like looks at me and he's like, ¿qué es eso? And I'm like explaining it and he goes, oh, como posada. And I'm like, no, eso es diferente. And he's
Okay,
like,
a posada, can you describe what a posada is?
I don't even really understand what it is. It sounds
From what I understand, because this is not our culture, but a posada is they go house to house, but they're praying.
not funny. It's so nice, but also
It's beautiful,
it's beautiful.
because it's like, oh,
It's
it's
just
almost like for
different.
them, a posada in I don't know if they celebrate in other places, but I know Mexico celebrates posadas. It's like a memorial or like a honoring of Mary and Joseph going house to
Yeah,
house
he was
seeking
explaining
shelter.
that.
So they
Yeah.
go house to house and they pray
Mhm.
like to Jesus and stuff.
That's so nice. And
That's
the
not
reason
what's happening in Parrandas.
that's exactly why
In
I'm laughing.
Parrandas, we are really like some of our songs is like they make no sense, but they
And
come
some
from
of them are inappropriate.
I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of trying how to translate. No queremos ron, ni tampoco brandy. Lo que queremos es el salón para el baile, right? So we don't want rum. We don't want brandy. What we want is the hall so that we can dance, right? Like it's all about drinking and eating, like and
really
dancing.
is. It was so normal for us to listen to this as kids and like sing along. That it wasn't until I was in high school that I was like, wait a minute. And then I like turned to Luigi. I'm like, this song's about drinking. And he goes, they're all about drinking. I'm like, not all of them.
It's funny because I didn't realize that either, that they were, like you said, inappropriate, quote unquote inappropriate.
Yeah.
They're not. That's
They're
our
not
culture.
inappropriate, but this is like
It's our culture. Like, how is it a culture inappropriate? But
no.
when I went to high school and my Spanish teacher was like, "Oh, let's do parrandas for we would go each to each Spanish classroom and we had our little maracas
That's really
and guidos.
cute. I love
And
that.
yeah, it was cute because it was the nice version. Instead of us stealing their food, we would go and take our food with them and be like, she censored the the lyrics. So when we would go to their rooms and we would sing si no me dan de beber lloro, si no me dan de beber lloro, which translates to if you don't give me to anything to drink, like if you don't give me, which is like alcoholic beverages, if you don't give me something to drink, I'm gonna cry. And instead of si no me dan de beber, she said si no me dan de comer. It's like, so instead of if you don't give me something to drink, I will cry, she changed it to if you don't give me something to eat, I will cry.
I'd rather do that one, honestly, because I think the food is the best part. Other than the music and the camaraderie, the food is so good. I was born in the US, and so I've only known like experienced like fake parrandas, right? So like the people know.
Why fake? Why are they fake?
Because they know we're coming. Like they usually kind of know. They have a sneaking suspicion that we might come. So they all have
okay,
they have all this good food already. And sometimes we just go to parties. Oh my gosh, my favorite thing is like, okay, vamos a hacer parranda, and it's like Christmas Eve, and so like we're literally going to every single person's family's party. So we're like, yeah, vamos a casa este y lo otro, and I'm like, oh, so then we literally crash people's parties, like people that we don't know, like other people know them, but one person in the group. It's my favorite part.
Yeah, so imagine a group of like 20 people.
Yes.
25 people. One person in that group is like, let's go to Joe's house because Joe is my friend from work, or he's a cool guy. So this one person knows Joe, and then we go to Joe's Christmas party, all 25 of us.
Yeah.
With music and loudness and expect you to feed us.
It's so bad.
That's
like I was
great.
Bro, I was explaining this to my very American like Irish boyfriend, and I was like explaining this to him, and he was like so confused and terrified because I was like very aggressive about it because like I love parrandas. So I was like, listen,
the passion comes out.
Yeah, I was like, listen, you haven't gone to one yet, but we do this every year, and the 2.5 years we've been together, we haven't done it, but that's not normal. And I told him it's not normal because of COVID, but we're doing it. And like, I told him, I was like, and you're gonna experience it. And he's like, what is it? And then
He's gonna love it.
and I explained it to him, and he looked so scared because I was like, you're going to sing along. And he's like, I've never been to a Spanish class. Like, he's like,
Okay, can I tell you? Okay, can I tell you? Because I remember when it switched, because you were born in the States. I was born in PR, but I moved to the States when I was really young. So when the family was doing parrandas, we were doing it like they traditionally did it in Puerto Rico. For those who don't know, Puerto Rico is in a tropical, loving, warm climate. It is a tropical place. We moved to Pennsylvania.
I don't know why.
It just so happens it was really a poor choice, poor judgment. But our family did this, and we had no control over it, right? So they moved to Pennsylvania, and it just so happens to snow and have freezing temperatures in December around Christmas time, where we generally do our parrandas. So when they came from Puerto Rico with the traditions of Puerto Rico, we would go house to house without letting them know we were coming. We would stand outside their door at night, and Theo would be playing his guitar out in the snow when it's freezing, and we would be out there for several minutes. Our noses were red, our limbs were falling off, and people were not answering the door. Okay. And then the worst part was the instruments would be out of tune because in the cold they can't, like, it goes out of tune. So
yeah, and
that's
they
when,
also
like,
snap.
in a string snap. After years of being outside and not being allowed in, we devised a new tactic. We still try to have the element of surprise because it's really important. So I remember when they started doing this. So it took years. They started then calling, like, oh, we're going to Mari's house. Okay. You got her number? And we would call and we prank call. We would, before we would leave, because we didn't have cell phones really, we would call, and before we would leave, would answer and be like, hello, and we'd click, and then we would go over there because we knew they were home. So it was for our comfort. We would call to see if they were there, but we didn't let them know we were coming. So then they started to pick up. They're like, oh, if somebody calls us in like at nighttime, they're coming. Get ready. But then as years progressed, our uncle, who kind of coordinates this, became nicer and was just like, I think also became tired of going house to house.
Yeah. I always just classify the parrandas that I've been to as fake parrandas because of the fact that
they're very real.
Like, because I'm like, oh man, I probably don't know crap about real parrandas. I'm not a real Puerto Rican.
So we have done parrandas where, and there's even songs like this, okay? Where we had, like, we would take our cups and our, like, a fork and stuff, and we would make, and we would pretend that's the guiro, and we would have the sticks, and we would have our own little makeshift instruments. And we took that to Theo Ilving, actually. And he was so happy because he wasn't expecting it. And he was like, I take everybody a parranda and I never got one. This is the best thing ever. And then what happened after that? He joined us and we went to other places. So there is still the element of surprise sometimes. Over here, like in Florida, we looked up some of the lyrics, some of the songs. We created little, like, song books, and we had one of my sister's friends was from Canada. She never even knew what a Puerto Rican was. Like, she never heard of Puerto Ricans. It just didn't exist. She didn't. She just didn't know because it's not part of her culture. So she didn't know what Puerto Ricans were.
That's crazy.
And she didn't realize that people here in the States actually can, know enough Spanish. Like, people know terms like casa and things like that. She had no idea. She's like, why do people know so much Spanish? Right? So simple things like that, right? But when we talked to her about what parrandas were and we showed her, she fell in love, right? And she's like, I want to do that. We gave her the song little, like, a book that we created. And she literally was studying Spanish so she could sing these songs. That's just really like those couple of weeks where she was watching, like, children's Spanish shows to
Really?
learn.
That's
So she could learn the
wild.
pronunciation and then
That's really
Duolingo.
cute though.
And she was
That's
singing with
dedication right
us.
there.
So
That's
Danny
so
could do it. I'm just saying.
I told him he can do that, and then he was like, I don't know how to read. Because I was like, I kept saying to him, because I didn't realize, like, I was like, I'm gonna give you a
He
paper.
got it.
I was
He'll
like,
be fine.
I'm gonna give you a paper. And he just looked at me like, and I kept interrupting him, like, this is my culture. And he was like staring at me like all scared. And I'm like, no, 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 no. And at the end of it, he goes, and he interrupted me, babe, but I don't know how to read Spanish. I've never taken a Spanish class. I don't even know what half those words.
It's okay. He just has to hold on to it and sing along. That's all. And he could take the maracas, or he could just do his 2-step side to side, just clap. That's all you need to do. We need extra voices. That's it.
It's so
I love
funny.
it. Anyways,
But
that was
yeah.
a long answer.
Wow.
Haven't had a parranda? Listen, just make one up. We literally did it we literally did it at our work. Why? Because we felt like it. And we crashed our meeting. They were expecting us, but we came in with a basket full of school instruments. So it was kind of like Christmas and trick or treat, like where we passed we passed the basket. They could have their instruments and then they could just like clap or play. They didn't know the words, but they all had to. They were included. You know, they were playing along. What was your favorite Christmas memory?
One of my favorite Christmas memories. Okay, not my favorite because I have a lot, and you covered a lot of it. But like, one of my all-time favorite Christmas memories is, and it's only in retrospect because at the moment it was scary. No, I was like 9. I was like on the fence about Santa. I was like, everyone's saying like Santa's not real, and like I'm weird because I still believe in him, and I'm like, maybe he's real, maybe he's not. And then I went to sleep and I said, okay, I'm gonna listen for Santa, and I fell asleep. Then I woke up to like a bang, and I was like, Santa. And then I looked up and I was like, what happened? And then like I ran over to the door and I opened the door, and then I heard shuffling in the living room, and I was like, oh my gosh. So then I ran into like my parents' room, and I jumped on the bed, and my mom was in bed, and I like went right next to her, and I was like, oh my God. And I told her, I was like, I don't know. And then when I was running, I literally heard a man's voice go, ho, ho, ho. So I'm like, oh my God, Santa's real. And I jump on the bed, and my mom's like, I start like almost crying. My mom's like, ¿Qué te pasa? Si todo está bien. Ah, es Santa Claus, no te preocupes. Like, she's like, don't worry, it's Santa. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, okay. I didn't register my dad wasn't in bed.
You were too scared to notice that he was gone. You had your mom.
And then like so many years later, I asked my dad, I was like, or not my dad, I was telling him the story because like I still could not explain it because it sounded so real and everything. And then as I was telling him, he just stares at me and he's smiling. And then I was like, yeah, it was so crazy. Santa was there. And I was 20 years old telling him this. And I'm just like, I don't. He's like, I'm like, I know Santa is not like actually like a physical person that comes to give us gifts. And I'm like, but like, I remember this. And it's like, and my dad's there smiling at me, and he goes,
you're like, I'm not crazy.
And he goes, oh, no te preocupes. Yeah, Santa Claus. And then he just turns around to do something, and then he goes, ho, 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 with the exact same tone of voice. And I'm like, it was you. It was you all along. And he was like, you are 20. It was Santa. I was like, no, but I couldn't explain it. And he goes, I wasn't in bed. I was like, I didn't
That
think
is
about
the
that.
cutest thing. I love your dad.
He's so fun. I love him so much. You hear that, Poppy? I love you.
Bring me more things. Thank you.
What's your favorite part of Christmas as a kid?
My favorite part of Christmas as a kid, I was gonna say it's the same thing. Like as an adult, I really love the parrandas. I really always enjoyed it. Like it was so, it's so nice. Like it's a whole different level of energy. I was thinking this. Okay. The other day I was sad, right? Present day. The other day I was sad. And I was just like, man, like I couldn't pinpoint what it was. And then my brain transported itself because it wasn't, I guess I'm doing some parts work in therapy. So it's just like recognize this my adult feeling and when is it like a younger side of me feeling it.
That's cool.
And I was feeling sad and I was like, what the heck? Like I'm just sad. Okay, like I could be in this. And it was a younger part of me. And I was like, what's gonna help me feel better? Because I've been doing all the things what's gonna help me feel better. And then I had this memory of when I was really sad as a kid. Even if it wasn't Christmas season. The only thing that would soothe me was the Chipmunks Christmas album.
The Chipmunks
Alvin and
Christmas.
Chipmunks.
Me, I want a hula hoop.
Yes, the Chipmunks
Really?
Christmas song.
Oh my
that
God.
was my damn. Like I would be crying, boohoo crying, and then they would go and put the cassette on because they had it, they had no idea what to soothe me. They would put the cassette on and they would play it and I would hear ding 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 ding, and I would be mad because I didn't want to feel better. But once they started singing Christmas, Christmas time is near, time for, I couldn't help but stop being sad.
That's so
And
cute.
I would just be happy. And so I played
my
that for
God.
myself the other day. I couldn't listen to the whole album.
Oh,
I couldn't listen to it. Like it was like, oh man, this is too much. I could play that one song. That one song, I was like, okay, that's all I needed.
oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And that's my favorite Christmas memory as a kid, the Chipmunks.
What was your first Christmas memory with friends, not family?
Okay, look, I don't know about family, like not family, because family's like always been in a Christmas mix, even when
Yeah, that's with my thing too.
I'm like they're always there. Always, even when it's just friends. So when I'm thinking my first one with friends and not family, it's not actual Christmas Day. It's just a Christmas memory. So that was the question. My first one with friends was when I was in college. And this is the one that popped up. But I remember I had a student apartment, so student housing. It was out of the dorms. And then it was the first time we decided to decorate because we had a little apartment.
Aww.
And then they had a Christmas decoration contest, so they would come in from the office and they would look at they would give us prizes for the Christmas decorating. And my roommate and my friend like my roommate and I were looking at each other and we're like, should we do it? Why the heck not? Let's try it, And we're broke. We're college students. We ain't got no money to deck the halls. We ain't got no money for all of that stuff. So we went to the dollar store and we got cardboard and decorated the
oh my God, I love it.
We decorated everything with paper. And so made a 3D cardboard paper.
Like, you fancy.
Yeah, because I'm extra, okay? Like I don't want to just have a tree pasted on the wall. I'm like, I'm gonna make a 3D paper one because we don't have a tree. So we're gonna make a tree and took the cardboard, like the paper, and we made the 3D. And then the thing is, we can't stop it there. We're like, yes, have a Christmas tree out of paper and put real ornaments on it. Like the paper's gonna withstand.
Wait,
that.
No, you didn't. You did not do that. You did not do that.
We did. We put real ornaments on the tree because that was going to work. And we made
ornaments
it work. It was like
leaning
a little bit to the side.
It really sounded like a song there.
Put real ornaments on the tree because I thought it was a real song that I didn't know because I'm out of touch.
No, it just sounded like one. This is like
listen, I just be spitting bars, all right? I'm a natural poet and rapper, all right? Put real ornaments on the tree because we decorated everything and then like it still looks empty. We want to deck more of the halls with the paper. I made elves. I made elves.
Do you have pictures of this?
And I probably can find them. Because we did take pictures.
Oh my god.
With our disposable camera.
Well, those are coming back in apparently.
But so we had little elves and they were all punished. This was before Elf on a Shelf, okay? To be honest, that wasn't even a thing. Just made elves, and they were all punished. They were in gao. They were in the corners. I don't know if you've ever
This
been
sounds
in
like a
Ga,
horror.
but I didn't know how to do anything else. So they were like, and like every corner, they were like
Kneeling.
they were kneeling towards the wall because they were made out of paper. So I didn't know how else to do it. So they were like on the wall facing the wall because they were. I was like, oh, they're punished. They're thinking of, they're on timeout. They're just thinking about what they did.
Oh my
And it's
god.
funny that you say it's horror thing because anytime we would go to the bathroom, she would be like scared or jump in the middle of the night because you see the silhouette. And you're like, oh my gosh, who is that? Oh, it's just an elf.
I would be scared too.
But we won, so whatever.
Oh, you won! Congratulations! I think I'm just visualizing very scary Christmas time.
It wasn't scary, it was cute.
I'm sure it was. It was probably better than a lot of other people.
I mean, apparently so, because all we did was put paper around the apartment, and that was our Christmas decoration because we were broke college kids who wanted to celebrate Christmas. That was funny.
You know, like you said that, and then before that you were like, yeah, like, you know, family's always in the mix and blah blah blah. And then I'm like, oh wait, yeah, because with my stories, like Idalis is in every single one of them, and Idalis is our cousin. I'm like, because she went to
She's
college.
Your friend.
Yeah, she's my friend. She's my best friend. Like, she went to college with me. We had a dorm together. Like, she was my roommate a couple of times. Time that I lived on the apartment, like right off of campus / on campus, I don't know what you would call that. I was with Idalis and Megan and Julia, which were my friends and our roommates. And we really wanted a Christmas tree. Like, Idalis was like, I have this Christmas tree like at home, and I just think it's so cute and small, but like it's our size, and it's because we're short people. It's like, and we could just bring it in and it'd be so cute to have it. We put it up during Thanksgiving break, or like right before Thanksgiving break, and then we got in trouble because it was a quote unquote fire hazard, even though there were no like lights on the Christmas tree. Like, they had it, so they confiscated it.
I remember that. They were the Grinch.
We were gonna decorate it with like battery powered like lights, and it's gonna be fun. And we had
You're trying to keep it to code. You didn't realize the Grinch came and stole Christmas from your apartment.
And it was gone. Like, it was literally gone. It might have already, like, maybe someone was there when they took it away, but like from what I remember coming back and it was gone. I remember Idalis being so pissed off. And the thing is, she's such a sweet, like, nice girl, like, and she was mad, and she's like, I don't know what to do, like, I want to get it back. I was telling this story to again family, because also was there. I was telling the story to also and Luisito, also family, and Tati. And
what I'm learning is you don't have friends outside of the family.
I have very few.
Yeah.
So then I was like sitting there and I was like, damn, I don't know what to do. Like, and then like our friend Tyler came in and he was like, what's up, everybody? Because I don't know, he was doing something. And then we were like, hey, and I was telling him about like what's wrong. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. And then he was like, you want to go get it back? Jokingly, like, yeah, let's get your car, go and pretend we're going home, take the Christmas tree, like, hide the Christmas tree, bring it back through the back stairs and take it back into my apartment, and so that way they won't know. And then he's like, yeah, are you down? Let's go.
Bet.
He was like, oh yeah, you got.
He was ready? Like, bet, I got you.
Yeah, I was like, you ready? And I was like, what? You're serious? And she's like, yeah, let's go. So I called Idalis, and she was like, okay.
Hey,
and
they're ride or die.
So she's like, let's go. So then we went, and then we got in his car, and then like he just put on Christmas music as we aggressively drove to my apartment. I said to them, I am a terrible liar. Like, don't ask me to lie for this. And they're like, okay, you don't have to lie. And I was like, I can't. I told them I can't go into the office because I'm going to be laughing the whole time. So I'm going to stay in here. So they went into the office to go get the Christmas tree. And then like Idalis was like, yeah, I'm gonna go home now. Like it's a Friday, I'm gonna go home. And they're like, okay. And they gave her the Christmas tree. I'm sorry, just you can't have it in the in the apartment. And she's like, okay. She takes the Christmas tree. She puts it in the back, and we literally circle around and we go through the very, very back of the apartment complex. And then I have my gourd chest, like I have like a bunch of blankets, and we just completely cover the little Christmas tree in like blankets. And then so we get the guys.
The fact that you are smuggling Christmas back into your apartment.
It was great. And then like so then we like covered it up, right? We covered it up all nice and like made it looked like a dead body. It looked like we were just carrying a dead body back into the door. Nobody questioned us. They like one guy passed by and then he's like, hey, and then he just kept walking. And then we're like, hello. And then we went up the stairs and it was like that episode of Friends with the couch. We couldn't like turn it right. It was like so bad.
Pivot.
And we made it. But then we had a Christmas party. We were great neighbors, by the way. We never made noise.
Until we decided to have a parranda and party on Christmas.
So we didn't have a parranda per se, but we did play music. And like when I say play music, I mean like we had musicians and stuff. And then we brought us like someone brought a Switch.
By the way, we don't do speakers. We do live music.
We did do speakers. We did speakers. And then like we start playing like Mario Kart and we're screaming and we're having a good time like playing Mario Kart. And then we were all above 21, by the way. We were all above 21. I made coquito.
I love all the disclaimers.
Well, it's true. Yeah, we were all above 21 and I made coquito and everything. And it was delicious and everyone was excited. We get a knock at the door. And by the way, we have all of the beverages out. Idalis looks through the little hole and she goes, it's the cops. It's not even like the people who live downstairs. It wasn't like the actual like owner of the building or anything. It was like, it's the cops. Most of the people at the party all screamed at the same time, the Christmas tree!
Everybody's worried about the Christmas tree.
So we grabbed the Christmas tree and we shoved it in. We shoved it in.
This feels like a Hallmark movie. Like this is what this feels like. This feels like, oh no, let's save Christmas because Christmas is bad on the college campus. We're here to stick it to the man and we're going to save Christmas.
The Christmas tree into one of the closets and we shove it. It kept coming out.
It's like, you can't hide me. Why are you ashamed of me on Christmas?
As we're like going, and then like I think it was also or someone was like the drinks about to cry, and then because like I don't do anything bad. Like this is probably the worst thing I've done is like,
girl, you need to live more.
Nah, this is fun. I like telling this story. Anyway, so the cop opened the door, told Idales, you guys have to keep it down. And she was like, yeah, thank you, sir. And then that's it. Yeah, sorry, that was a really long story, but like I forgot about that.
But it's oh my gosh. You guys are Christmas rebels. We stole the Christmas back.
And I don't think I have that on my list. Like, I didn't think I was going to talk about that. But whatever.
That's funny. Oh man. How did I find out about Santa being different than what I thought he was? Listen, I grew up with Santa, and Santa is the homie. Like, Santa is straight up real.
Okay, so
let me tell you the story. So how our relationship evolved is how I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
But no, like I believed in Santa in the way that I was presented as a child, for what people still may consider a long time. It was more of a natural thing, because even though there was evidence to show me that my parents, more so my mom, because my dad was no help, that my mom and my grandma had a lot to do with the Christmas magic. There was evidence in different points that I saw. Like I would see wrapping paper under my mom's bed when I was looking for my shoe. but dismissed it. Like, that's weird. Oh well. The same thing would happen in my grandma's house. I would see wrapping paper in the closet and under her bed when she would tell me to go find her chancla or something, or be in a corner, like behind in her closet. Like I would find it, like she would have it in a corner behind stuff, but not really,
Wait,
like it was still out there.
when you
Right.
say,
So I'm like, what?
when you say, when I was looking for a chancla, did you mean like for her to put on?
Sometimes to put on, and sometimes she would send us to get chanclas to punish one of my cousins or my siblings. So it was like,
Oh, so you were
go
excited.
get this. I was not excited. I did not like that job, because if I didn't get the right one, I would get in trouble.
No, sad.
Because I would try, I'm like, I don't want to be participant of this. No, this is going sour. So she was like, if I got the like light, skinny little one that wouldn't hurt as much, she would yell at me and send me back there. So that was not the point.
Perfect one.
She would yell at me because I was trying to be nice. She's like, no, I need a good one. So I had to go back and get a better one. But anyway, we just laugh at our trauma. That's fine. Anyways, but I would go there to get something that she needed, and I would see things and I'm like, dismiss it. I'm like, this is weird, huh? Like, and knowing I'm like, there's no reason for this, but my child brain didn't want to accept it. So I really literally chose to believe in magic. Like, it was I would dismiss it. I wasn't looking for an answer. I really chose to believe in magic. So I would see these things, and I was just like, dismiss it. So when I came to an age, I was already in middle school. Okay. So I was like 11 when I was like I was starting to be like, well, maybe it's not real. Like maybe it's not. And I would, and I started to question more. So like accepting the questions of, I thought, like, even though everybody in middle school was like, I'm not believing, everybody, and I'm like, that's okay. It was so in my mind that if you didn't believe, he didn't come. So they didn't believe, and I could accept that they didn't believe. That was okay, because remember, we were Puerto Rican, so we celebrated Three Kings Day. So I was already used to the fact that if I believed, they showed up. I was in like with Americans, so they didn't have three kings, and because they didn't believe, they didn't show up. When I would come and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, the three kings brought me this," they'd be like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "They don't have it." Oh, they don't have it. The three kings didn't come to their house because they don't know about them. They didn't believe in them. So it was a lot easier for me to recognize, okay, if you don't believe in Santa, then he's not going to come to you, because that was already my experience with the three kings. It wasn't weird. And so I'm like, you cannot believe, and that's okay. I respect that, but I continue to believe. I'm just not going to tell you that I continue to believe, because I got my relationship with Santa Claus. And so I started questioning more at 11, more so Santa, because it seemed too much. Like Santa was too magical at that point. Like there was too much going on with Santa. He was like shimmying through the chimney. I never had a chimney. How he get in there, right? And like these reindeer, like none of it. And this is how like my brain was like none of this is in the Bible. Like this is some of this is, I know Saint Nick was real, but none of this is in the Bible. But yeah, I'm like, but yeah, he's not. I'm like, I know Saint Nick was a person, but all of this extra stuff, this doesn't seem right. But so I was starting to question that, and I was like, I'm gonna see if Santa's real. But then it made me then think of the three kings. Like I was like, if Santa's not real, are the three kings real? And I was like, yes, three kings are real. The three kings are in the Bible, and they come on camels and they travel by camel. There's no flying, there's no extra stuff, there's no craziness, there's no like disappearing. They're just three wise men. They're real. So that was my little bartering with myself, with reality.
I love this so much.
And I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait until I wasn't even worried about Santa anymore. I'm like, Santa, whatever. But this is how I'm gonna prove it to myself. I'm gonna stay up and I'm gonna see when the three kings put the presents under my bed. I'm gonna see it. I'm just gonna stay up. I'm gonna be in bed. I'm gonna see them. I'm gonna see when they're coming. I'm gonna see it. The problem is, I can stay up really late, but once I'm in bed, I could stay up still very, very late, but not as late as my mom. Okay, because I slept and then I woke up and I'm like, damn it, they got here before I could see
That
them.
happened to me too.
Right. So then what happened is the following year at 12, like I just matured and I was just like, yeah, I know this is not real. Mommy had asked me when I was 11, she's like, you still believe in Santa? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, okay. Why would mommy ask me that? Right. I was just like, but I don't care. I choose to believe in magic. And then when I was 12, she asked me the same thing. Like, Amarilis, do you still believe in Santa? You still believe in Santa? And I'm like, no. And she's like, okay, good, because now you can help me wrap presents.
Oh no. That's so funny. I love that she was checking in just to see if she could get a little bit of help because it's a lot.
Well, it's different now, but mommy was such a great Santa's helper. She created so much magic for us, a lot of times by herself. So when we would go to church on Christmas Eve and at night, she was still like we would go to church and we would do all these things and she was preparing and all these things, and we would go to bed like at already 2 o'clock in the morning after that service.
Wow.
And that's when she started wrapping presents. And when because she was the only one shopping, and she was like, my dad was part of the magic, but he didn't make the magic, he just enjoyed the magic with us, he was another kid. So when she would finish wrapping the presents, not just for her children, but for all of the cousins, like she would get presents for all, like the whole family.
Wow.
And that's a lot of gifts. That's a lot of gifts. So when she would finish wrapping and help Santa, she would say, like, once I put the last present under the tree and finally got to bed, you guys would start jumping on my bed talking about Santa came. Like she wouldn't sleep.
No.
She wouldn't sleep. So she was such like, it was a lot. So of course she was looking for help. She did get help from like my grandma, because my grandma and my aunt on my maternal side, because what they would do is they would gather our list and then they would split our list. So we would get some of our wish list.
That's smart.
At our house, the rest we would get at grandma's house or at my aunt's house.
Wow,
so we always like, it was really, Santa was doing amazing work because he was listening and left us what we wanted at different places.
Santa was many women.
And continues to be, really, like, it's your mom making so much magic, at least in our home, like my mom, grandma, aunt. But that's why I'm like, Santa is real, because it's that spirit of like, it's just the magic. It's magical. Like what my mom did and my grandma did and my aunt did, it's magic. And to be able to kind of do that for my brother when he was young, and then do it for
you were Santa too.
Well, I'm never Santa. I'm Santa's helper. Like Santa is a different.
That's how I knew it wasn't real.
Like it's, but here there were so many clues, because we would even look at, like, I knew my mom's penmanship and I knew my grandma's penmanship, and I would always ask, Mommy, like, how come Santa at like our house writes different than Santa at grandma's house? And she's like, because he has different elves who help him. I'm like, okay, Mom, but now Santa has this wrapping paper, and then the three kings have the same wrapping paper. Why does Santa have the same wrapping paper as the three kings? Like, and she's like, because they share. And then she started like, she's like, these kids are too on point. She had to switch up her game. I'm like, why do the three kings have wrapping paper with Santa on them? And she's like, because they're friends.
I can't. That's so funny. I love that so
much. But there were so many opportunities. I just chose to believe in magic for a long time.
But like, I found out because I went to, like, I wanted to show my parents something because they were like locked in the room, and they had like a lock, and I was like knocking on the door, and I heard,
and they never lock the door unless they're doing something.
Music. Fine. It seemed like fun. And then sometimes they were listening to Gilberto Santa Rosa, and then sometimes they were listening to El Gran Combo, and I'm just like over here like
I want to party.
Go in there. It's like, and I'm pretty sure why they kept it so loud was so I wouldn't hear the clickety clacking and the snipping.
Yeah, the rustling of the pages.
Exactly. And I guess they sent Luigi to distract me every year because then we would watch our favorite Christmas movies all together in the living room. And so I was like, okay, yay, I get to spend time with my brother, but where's my mom and dad? And then he's like, they're over there doing something important. And I'm like, what are they doing? They're just like, he's like, I don't know, like something else. And I was like, but it sounds like fun. So I would always go and knock on the door and they wouldn't answer and say, un momentito, or like, ahorita, whatever. And I'm like knocking on the door, like, what the heck? And Luigi's like, oh, do you want to watch Enchanted Christmas? And then I'd be like, yeah. So I'd be like running over because I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna watch the Beauty and the Beast special.
He had such a hard job.
I know. And then like one year they didn't lock it, and Titi Trini called, so I was like, I gotta give this to mommy. So I was on the phone with Titi Trini and I went la 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 la, and I went to open the door and it wasn't locked, and I just saw mountains of presents for all of the I knew it was already all the cousins, but just to me as a child, I saw a bunch of presents and I saw them wrapping it, and my mom's reaction is the one that made me realize that
she told on herself.
She told on herself, because if she would have just been like, esos son de tu primo, ese de Idali, ese whatever, because she got presents for everybody. So I was like, okay. So I walked in and I was like, oh, and then they're like, dame eso, and then they like pushed me out there, and I was like, and then later on they had like a talk because like, you know, every time they would go to Walmart, every time they went to Toys R Us, like when they were leaving, they would say, we're gonna go to the North Pole to talk with Santa. Vamos a hablar con Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's how mommy would always say.
Oh,
like when she would go somewhere, she'd be like, voy a hablar con Santa Claus.
Luigi gave me a whole like overview, and he'd be like, they're on the Polar Express right now, and they're probably drinking hot cocoa, and they're almost there. Yeah, Luigi was good at that. Yeah, so then afterwards they freaked out, and then my mom tried to save it and was like, we're elves.
We're elves.
We're elves. And I just stared at her. I'm like, am I an elf too? Because you gave birth to me? And she goes, no, we're like Santa's helpers. And I'm like, will I be Santa's helper one day? And she's like, yeah.
Oh my gosh, your poor mommy.
But yeah, okay.
I think we practice a lot of that with like we realize all those things as adults, and we still have those memories as kids. They were really doing the best they could. But with like my nephew now, he's kind of in that space, and we're like remembering all the questions we had. So he buys wrapping paper for Santa because he was like, I want to help him. So he's just like, okay, we'll leave this wrapping paper out so that way, you know, Santa could use it to wrap your presents if he wants, because it's like helping. So it's just like we try to incorporate those things of like, oh, why do you have the wrapping? Well, it's the wrapping paper. It's like, it's not even like like if he finds it, it's like, oh, well, we bought it to help Santa because you wanted that one. Right?
That's so cute. So like I love that so much.
In those things, we changed our handwriting because I was too savvy, and I was like, wait a minute, Santa's writing is just like grandma's handwriting. So Santa's cool. It. Oh, I'm excited for Christmas. I'm glad that we did this because I was like, usually as an adult, it takes a little bit more magic when you're creating magic. So I'm glad that we did this because this is really, really fun. What is your gratitude? What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for, oh man, I'm grateful for Christmas and spending the time together as a family, going to mass on Christmas Day together. I'm so thankful that Jesus has such a fun birthday. I'm just thankful.
I am thankful for coquito and parrandas.
Yay! Coquito! I'm so excited.
That's so good. Yes. We hope you guys have a really, really, really enjoyable Christmas or Hanukkah, other holidays that you celebrate, because this is a really enjoyable time. And I hope that there's magic, honestly, because we give so much, and this is a time where a lot of cultures, a lot of practices, a lot of religions, we talk about giving, but I also hope that you practice the gift of receiving,
Yeah.
because you deserve to receive. We all deserve to receive, and it's receiving love, receiving peace, receiving joy, receiving laughter, receiving unity. I wish you the gift of receiving. So we're really grateful that you are here.
And we are here with you.